Today on Q&J, is the model blue and black or white and gold? I don't know!
Q and J.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Q&J. I am, first of all, very sorry it's taken me this long to get back into Q&J. I just haven't had a lot of time, and that's the thing. Time's been an issue, and this has been unfortunately one of those two series that I haven't been able to film as much as I wanted to. The other one being How to Play 40K, which I promise I'll get back to that ASAP. My other job has just been taking too much of my time, and these two have been the ones that usually take the most to edit and to render and all that stuff. So I just haven't had the time. And I'm really sorry I haven't put my lights in as well, because I put a good gash in my head today, hitting my head on the on one of my car doors, which wasn't the smartest move. So I have a bit of a headache, but it's all good. No complaints. And I'm going to start off with saying, of course, I did create a Patreon account recently. Link is up here. And if you want to go check it out, awesome. Go ahead and check out my Patreon page. You want to support me? Amazing. If you don't worry. To feel no obligation to, but just any bit helps. My goal right now is to quit my other job and do this full time and just have a great time making videos for you all. If that's the case, obviously expect a full 5-video lineup every week and a Q&J at least twice a month if that happens. But let's get to the questions. Now, it's been a couple months since my last Q&J, or about a month and a half. So some of these questions may not be the most applicable to today. Many things have happened since the last one, so I'll try to go over everyone as best as I could. I'm hoping that this episode will kind of reboot the series, and the new questions will come in, and I can answer them, and thus forth, you know, because since the last one, I've gone to Adepticon, I've gone to the LVO, a bunch of codices have come out, Harlequins, Demons, Demonkin from Khorne, and Adeptus Mechanicus comes out this Friday, so let's get talking. Awesome. Mr. Man Out Name says, I would have never thought of putting metallic paints in the microwave. I guess I should try, and if something happens, I would blame Jay. That is obviously referring to my intro for the last one. That was fun. So don't put metallic paints in the microwave. Don't do it. Don't do it at all. Forsaken 1CZ says, thanks Jay for advice about multiple armies. It really helped. I decided to go with Harlequins since I already had one unit of them to use with Craft World Eldar Codex, and therefore I might as well get them like separate army. Yeah, it sort of felt like a sign. Hee hee. It was too convenient. And Forsaken CZ says again, and since I foot-slogged my Wraith Guard as Liandon, it should be nice change to play a fast army of Weaver Skimmers and jet bikes. Exactly. You know, basically the Harlequins are a nice fast addition. They'd be a good ally choice. Yeah. Benislav says, Jay, no pressure about the historical war games. I was only posting about my opinion. Yes, it was a very good opinion. And everyone, especially the host of the show, has the right to have their own. Yes. It's just that I'm a history buff. Very cool. So is my father-in-law. He was talking about it yesterday. And somehow I can't really find such good quality barraps of historical war games, like from you or from MWG, to do 40K, and it makes me sad. So you might say that I'm kind of acting up because of that. No problem. As always, keep up the awesome show. Also, Tau are space communists. Don't let their propaganda get to you. And J. Rat says, I tend to think of it as it's not historical, it's an alternate reality. Because that way you can have alternate scenarios happen and you can mix and match, and it's kind of cool. It doesn't have to necessarily reenact a historical battle. It can be, you know, an alternate battle. Like the seasons of The Walking Dead are an alternate reality to the comic books The Walking Dead, because they're really different. Sorry, I'm just grabbing some chips. I'm a bit hungry right now. I'm basically trying to find any time I can to film the series, and it's a bit late. But it's awesome. You know, good to film the series again. Daniel Cross says, I disagree with some parts about your orc advice. No problem, we're allowed to have our different opinions. Please never try to repair cans because of their 2 hull points and overall lack of survivability. Well, the reason why I would only repair one, I think I might have mistaken my words in the last one. What I meant was give them grot riggers for it will not die, and it helps keep them alive. I have, in fact, tried to repair cans before, in the sense that the only situations I would repair a can is to keep it alive for purposes of kill points, for example, or to keep it alive so that it can move or do something in the following phase, maybe grab an objective or thus forth. I don't usually use a mech to fix my cans. I meant fix the Dread and, of course, my Morkanaut, because the Morkanauts are amazing. Because they're 2 hull points and they're like survivability. If one has gotten hurt, let it be. Now for main unit of Shootas, those go best in trucks, which provide a distraction for your cans, more time for you to walk up the board. Yeah. Very good point, Daniel Cross. And Sergeant Harker, who is now going by Stone Tooth, says, I do like that idea. I've kind of stopped with the can for now, because it's going to cost me so many points that I would rather put into trucks or something. I'm still going to bring 3, but I'm taking grot riggers for 5 points. It isn't bad. I found, played a game with them already, and having it will not die means that they can get fixed, and it's the same odds as a Big Mac. So I use this list, and then he just has a list. Yeah. But thank you very much for your comment, Sergeant Harker, as well. But his list is pretty solid. He's using trucks and boys and trucks as well. And yeah, heavy war boss, heavy Big Mac, 20 shooters and truck, and they're all in battle wagons, I'm pretty sure. Nope, just power claw, boss pull, 2 rockets, fast attack, DACA jet, heavy support, 4 kilocan, 3 kilocan, 3 kilocan. Oh, sorry, that was the list by Daniel Cross. And Sergeant Harker says Storm Boys, Shooter Boys, not with boss pull and claw, stock grots, which I love. I love stock grots, going to ground on objectives in cover. 3-up cover save, amazing. So, yeah, cool list. Very cool list, Sergeant Harker. Dr. Octopus. Hey, Dr. Octopus. Says, Jay, when are you crossing the pond to the old England? Oh, man. See, if I knew. Now, here's the thing. Now, I'm not going, unfortunately. But I should have talked to my good friend Chung, because I didn't know it, that there is a convention in August called Games and Gears Con. That's in England. If only I knew, I would have tried to get on the board with that and gone to England. My goal is to get to England ASAP. Every time I go to a convention in the States, I realize how it's just amazing to meet your fans and put faces to names like Black Tom and Sub-Zero, you know, and I would love to do that with England. When will I go? I don't know. Maybe next year. Maybe I should make my goal, like my dream goal is to get to Warhammer Fest next year. That'd be a pretty good goal. Or maybe I can make it a goal of like a Patreon. No, it would be too greedy. But yeah, I would love to go to England. I would love it. It is my dream because it's the mecca of 40K. So ASAP is the answer. Will it be soon? I can sweeten the deal with tea and scones, Yorkshire pudding, and more. More, eh? Very good point. We'll see. I don't know. I just don't know. Right now I'm still trying to plan out the next year or so. I can't promise, but I would love to. If I can do it this year or next year, would be my goal. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. When's Warhammer Fest? Warhammer Weekend? I don't know. I gotta do like an Adventures of J series. But I would love to, basically. I would love to. I just can't figure out when, but I should start saving up. Make a goal and do it. That'd be amazing. So, yeah. I'll find out. I'll think about it. Says Jim White. Says, Jay, which scale model would you love to collect paint if it meant to be displayed only? The answer is chibi. I fell in love with chibi models. I love them. They're adorable and Asian and cute. And I bought a bunch of them at Adepticon. And in fact, I might do a video because Impact Miniatures, the company I bought a lot of from, is doing a Kickstarter, but it ends in a few days, so I might hype their Kickstarter. I like chibi right now. I want to paint some chibi models. That or the Forge World 30K scale models, basically. you know, like Horus Heresy scale. That's a pretty cool scale as well, models to paint. Those ones or chibi. Very good question, Jim White. Daniel Ossiden says, you said that to get to scary level, it always is min troops. But with the new Necrons, it might be the min HQ and max warriors. True, they might be the exception to the rule. Also, the new Khorne Bloodkin Codex, max number of min squads of cultists seem to be the scariest thing. Very good point. For example, a Lord and 6 20-man warrior squads. That is 1,610 points. I know, very good point. You could even make a Decurion for all 4 up Feel No Pain, or, you know, oops. Reanimation protocols. That would come at 1779. Yeah, basically, very good point, Daniil. 120 warriors is scary as they can essentially kill almost anything as they just won't die. Yes, they would. Other than, I did the math, and Imperial Knights would actually walk on them. And that's my comment, and I'm sticking by that comment. If you do the math, an army of Imperial Knights would probably walk all over them. I know what you're thinking, Goss is insane, but it takes 108 shots of Goss to kill a single knight. Think about that. I don't think you'd have 108 guys within firing range of the same guy, but I know, I agree. I do very much agree with your comment. Necrons, these new detachments, Necrons and the Bloodkin, for sure, I would say min squads do not apply. That being said, at the LVO, as I pointed out, it was all min squads. Or these, like for Tyranids, for example, they'd run like 3 to 4 to 5 Flyrants, tons of flying monster creatures, and then you'd bring those 1 spores as a troop's choice. Mandragora Dravgus says, rolling on the floor laughing. I set up this video, get comfy, expecting to paint for a nice hour uninterrupted, and you made me spill my paint with a comment 1 minute in. Thanks, Jay. No problem. He also left a comment, Mandragora Dravgus left a link to the Fallen Inquisitor and his henchmen you can buy from VictoriaMiniatures.com, I believe. Victoria Miniatures? Yeah. So the next comment is by Vincent Bryan, who states that Uriah Jacobus, I think it's Jacobus, is in the Sisters decks, can make a unit he joins have 5 up and vulnerable save. That's pretty sweet. Thank you very much for your comment, Vincent Bryan, pointing that out. Vincent Bryan. Sergeant Stonetooth Harker says, thanks, Jay. I've been working on my orcs. Also, suggestion for anyone making orcs, get a box of knobs and slap them on 40mm bases. Give them some of the options to make them into war bosses. Found it a good way to make plenty of spare bosses. Very good point, Sergeant Harker. It's always great to kit bash orcs. I'm glad you're having a great time, Sergeant Harker. Orcs are so much fun to customly build, have a great time with. I love orcs. They're a great army. PKB Chaz says, hey Jay, I'm not sure if you've heard, but Spartan Games is making a Halo miniature game. Do you think it will be successful? Yes. I think it will. I think it has potential. Halo is a great universe, and it has a following already. I'm very interested also in the Batman one, but I think the Halo one will be good. And if I do play that game, I'm going to have to build 1 army red and 1 army blue and play some fun games. For sure. I think it has potential. For sure. And there's a link in that comment as well. Stephen Olson says, thanks for the comments, Jay. You will be happy to know I ended up getting Tomb Blades, Immortals, and built my Scarabs. Excellent! So you're well on your way to a good Necron army. I also got a Monolith. Next, I will definitely check out the Command Barge. For sure. Command Barges are amazing. Stoner Steve. I love the name Stoner Steve. Says, best for Dreadknight build is 2 Nemesis Strike Forces. With a Librarian, a Terminator Squad, a Storm Raven, and 2 Dreads. And it comes out to, I think, 1850. Solid build. Solid. I had a great time playing with the Dreadknights at Adepticon, and you'll be seeing them in battle reports. I think you already have seen them in battle reports. Yeah. But, yeah, it's been a great time using them. They're great. My favorite build is still Heavy Incinerator, Heavy Psy Cannon, Personal Teleporter, and a Sword. Yeah. Rob Carpenter says, what are your thoughts on a Super Horde list? 2x30 Gons, 2 Tervagons as troops, and 1 is an HQ with Chaos Allies, 2 Sorcerers with bare minimum Cultist squads, summoning up demons with a Tervagon, spitting out Gons. It's potential. Against certain lists, you're going to have a really, really tough time. Against any Imperial Knight, you're in trouble. Because nothing that the Tyranids or Cultists have will deal with the Imperial Knights. Or any armor to begin with, basically. Land Raiders. The Land Raider Redeemer would have a really fun time against your list because he would just flame everything. But it'd be fun. Against, you know, anything that didn't bring a lot of anti-Horde, you'd be in good shape. But you'd have a very tough time against armor. Very tough time. Tyranids have a hard time against armor, and Cultists have a very hard time against armor. One Castlip says 2558 type in eBay Warhammer 40k Orc Army Stompa looted Forge World Warhound Titan Great Pain NR for an Orc Titan kit bash. All right. Very good point. One Castlip. Rob Carpenter says played a guy today who had made a Nid Knight. It was awesome. Very cool. I'm gonna make an Orc Knight eventually. An Orc Imperial Knight, make it into like a Mega Dread. That'll be pretty cool. I like Ketchup 93 says, please help this confused newbie. Where do you find the formations for Space Marines? I have the Codex. Anyone can answer this. There are no formations for Space Marines. There are like Apocalypse formations for Space Marines, but the standard Space Marines don't have formations in their Codex. It's just a standard Codex with a standard Force Organization chart because they have a 6th edition Codex. If they get a 7th edition Codex, they will probably have some formations or something to access. But other than that, they have, like, if you go to the Apocalypse books, you'll see Apocalypse formations for Space Marines. But other than that, they don't have any specific formations in their Codex themselves. I hope this answers your question. Basically, anything from 6th edition didn't get access to new, cool Force Organization charts or formations in their codices. They all just have the standard, it's now called, you know, the standard Battle-Forged Army, you know, a standard one from the rulebook. Nurgle's Grin says, so Jay, I have 2 squads of 5 Grey Knight Terminators with a hammer and side cannon, but not sure what to give the others. Halberds. I can't decide if I should leave them with the swords or give them falchions or halberds. Halberds. The reason for halberds over falchions give an extra attack. Not bad. But basically you need the halberds, because halberds plus hammerhand gives strength 7 terminators that go at initiative 4. So they're really good for hurting things before the hammers at initiative 4, you know? Strength 7 can do a lot because it can glance anything, or, you know, against vehicles it rocks because you're doing against rear armor that's 10, force to pen at initiative 4, much better. And against high toughness things like demon princes, you know, anything wraith, strength 7 is just so much better. So I recommend strength 7. So if you combine hammerhand and halberds, that extra +1 strength, like it used to be for the psi ammo, makes a huge difference in your army, for sure. Also, if you're going against like toughness 3 things like Eldar, you don't even need to hammerhand. You automatically wound on 2s with halberds. So I'd say halberds. It's my favorite build by far for Terminators. Swords are just the base. Falchions, I don't really find that much use for them. They're good in that extra attack, but I prefer halberds for that +1 strength, which, as I say, can make a huge difference in your game. I'm in a similar situation with my 5-man squad of Paladins. What would you suggest? Once again, halberds, and with Paladins, a banner. One of the banners, because the banner in a larger squad just gives them, you know, you can get one that gives them Fearless, and it gives them all an extra attack, because then you get an extra attack, add up higher strength, and you're in great shape. Sebastian Hellstrom says, hi Jay. First, some background on my question. Let me just open this up. Cool. I've been playing Warhammer Fantasy for over 2 years, and I get tired of playing random people at my local GW. So I decided to get my friends in Fantasy through an escalation narrative campaign, starting at 1,000 points and building up 2,500 over 6 months, because I know they're big fans of D&D and other role-playing games. Excellent. That's a great way to connect them from one game to the other. Very good idea. I was really successful, and my campaign is between my Lizardmen and are already at over 5,000 points. Bretonnian Dwarfs. So my question is, what is your opinion on escalation narrative campaigns, both for 40k and fantasy, since I am thinking about starting one for somebody that are excited about 40k and will probably choose Tau, Chaos, and Krons. Sorry for the long comment, and keep up the great vids. They're amazing. I have only positive things to say for narrative campaigns that are escalation, because you start it small, get a feel for the game, and just keep adding on squad at a time until the final points list. And at the end, you have a good-sized army. It's a great way to get people into the game. And you see a lot of game stores these days in Canada use that tactic of a narrative campaign and an escalation campaign, because that way it gets new people in, they get to create an army, they get to paint a squad at a time so you don't get overwhelmed, and in the end it leads to a good army. So I love them. Great idea for getting your friends in, and very cool to connect D&D to fantasy, and then you go from fantasy to 40k. Of course, now that the world has ended in fantasy, I'm very curious to see what happens next. But very good, Sebastian Hellstrom. Timonius says, Jay, can you recommend how to convert a GK Dreadnought to make it look less silly, as to make it looks like a baby carrier? I want to make a Grey Knights list, but these monster creature units, which is admittingly really strong, look silly, and I have to like the model to collect to paint them. I was thinking something along the lines of having a pilot sealed inside the walker somehow, but not sure what bits I should use. And then Johnny Torn says, go to the Blue Table Painting YouTube channel. They had a good example a few months ago. Used Dreadknights and Dreadknights Dreadnoughts and Dreadknights in a cool combination. That's exactly what I was going to say. Take Dreadnoughts and combine them with Dreadknights. Kit bash it. Another option is, if you can somehow get a piece of clear plastic, you could put the guy inside and then maybe like a window to show you that he is in there and he can see it, see outwards. You know, you take a Dreadnought body, connect it to a Dreadknight legs and arms, could work there too. That's basically it. I know they do look like baby carriers. First thing, remove the torso. The torso is the baby carrier part, and the guy outside. So if you could put like a window, maybe with the guy, that you can clearly see he's outwards, or you could use the Librarian Dread kit and put a Dread Knight Paladin in there instead of the Librarian guy, or a Venerable kit. Actually, a Venerable kit would be perfect, and replace the Venerable Space Marine with a Dread Knight in the center part, and then connect the arms. That might be a way to achieve a much cooler looking kit than the Dread Knight. Tober's Heising? To Bears Heising, I think. Sisters have the Avenger Strike Fighter. Yes, and I faced it the other day at Mini Wargaming with Leland. It's pretty cool. Wargamer Sean. Hey, Wargamer Sean. I met Wargamer Sean actually at Adepticon. Unfortunately, we were supposed to schedule a game, but he couldn't make it, unfortunately, so someone stepped in. But it was awesome meeting you again, Wargamer Sean. Says, I think Sisters need a point reductions, as it only costs one more point for a Space Marine that is +1 weapon skill, strength, toughness, initiative. Does that seem right? No, it doesn't. Good point, Wargamer Sean. I think they're going to drop by probably 2 points is my guess. When they finally get a new codex, I think they're going to go down by a couple points. Maybe 3. I agree with the flyer. One of the Warlord traits right now increases their invulnerable save to 5 up. For the squad they're in, Uriah Jacobson. Yeah, that's what he said. Uriah Jacobus. Cheers, man. I look forward to seeing you at Adepticon. Yes, and we did get the good talk. So it was very nice meeting you once again at Adepticon, Wargamer Sean. And I'm sorry we didn't get our game in. Maybe next year we should just schedule a game and get a good game going. Barry Sanders says, do you think you will ever get so big that you can do a show like Doing Laundry with Jay? Maybe. I think it'd be kind of cool to do a vlog, but my life isn't very interesting compared to vloggers. What resources do you know for severely color-coordinated, challenged people? Yes, I only wear plaid clothes. If you're talking about models, there's actually some great art, like color your army softwares online that you can like design your own Space Marines and stuff and look at the combinations and see if they're really good. Other than that, color wheels, you can see color wheels and basic color theory. If you pick up like any art book about colors, it states what colors really work well together, opposite ones, and which ones don't work well together. That's also a really cool resource for finding out what colors work together and which ones don't. But thank you very much for your comment, Barry Sanders. Scardcast. 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 I must read it like him. Scardcast. Thanks for the shout out, sir. What was the thing that you took most from the LVO? Did you play? Did you just go to the con? I just went to the con, unfortunately. The Barry Bash is on the 18th of February. Would you come up to say hi for the day? I would have, but I had to work that day, unfortunately. I can't, right now, I work every Saturday. It's the one day of the week I can't get out of. And that's also where everything fun happens. So that's my goal. I want to quit my other job and then show up at all the conventions and all the fun things, basically. If that happens, I'm going to show up at these places. Like Barry Bash, I'm going to go. I'm going to vlog there. I'm going to wear a GoPro on my head and have J-Cam. I promise that, Scardcast. Scardcast. It would be a nice showcase the event for the gaming community. Also, what is your favorite special character? Special character? Drago. Or Lysander. Drago or Lysander, fluff-wise. And they're both fun. Bo Skirtson says, Orc Knight from Reddit. Oh yeah, there's the Orc Knight. I love this one. Yeah. The Mega Dread. Very nice pictures, by the way. Thank you for sending that to me. Oh, now I gotta resort them. It's okay. Where was I? There you go. 118 Warhammer says, mate, you need to get that ad off, man. It's below you with all that bad language. Mate, you need to get that ad or ADD off, man. It's below you with all that bad language. I'm sorry. I don't know exactly what you're referring to, 118 Warhammer. But I apologize for my bad language. CM Yuli says, hi Jay, this is my first ever Q&J question. First of all, love the kitty t-shirt. Thank you very much. My soft kitty shirt. Since the new Necron Codex came out, I stopped playing them because I thought the reanimation protocols that had been nerfed. No. Do you disagree or agree? I think they're better. Definitely better. Because a 4-up, Feel No Pain, that's better than Feel No Pain. It's faster, it's more streamlined for the game, and it keeps them alive. It really keeps them alive. And it prevents a lot of the time it has prevented me from taking a leadership test that I normally would have. So I think they're better. I think overall it is better. Yeah, I think it's better. In some ways it can be nerfed because you can't bring anyone back from the dead anymore, but I think it's better. I'm currently collecting Death Corps of Krieg because I love the models. They are immune to fear and very artillery based. Yes, they are army, and my question is if I ever came up against a Horde army, like orcs or nids, how could I deal with them scared of close combat as guard are squishy? Yes. Or even Tau. Since I siege list from Forge World, I have to add on bits from the Astro Militarum Codex and Pask is your answer. Pask is your answer to Horde lists. Pask will wipe out a squad a turn with his shooting. I've been facing Pask a lot lately because there's a really cool guy in Peterborough named Stu, and he plays Pask, and every game Pask does something amazing. Him and his tank with like the 20 shots and a bunch of other things, Pask will deal with Horde lists. And he can wipe out a Flyrant a turn. I've seen him do it. So he can help you a lot with orcs as well. The other option is if you know you're facing orcs specifically, bring Yarok to get some preferred enemy. But yeah, Pask is amazing. And also blast templates. Just blow up your opponent with blast templates before they get to you. Stay back, move back, and then just fire as many things as you can to soften them up as much as they can before they get in close combat. Attaboy84 says, hey Jay, what do you think about Orc and the Diviner? What would be the best way to use him? He's okay. He has his uses. I've seen him in combination with a lot of just warrior spam. I've seen, like, all the lists I've seen with him online, they put him in a giant squad of warriors to keep him alive, and you move him up on your opponent. That's all I've seen so far. He's not one of those instant go-to HQs that I find for the Necrons. I think that's still just the Overlord in a command barge. But if you bring him, attach him to a giant squad of warriors, keep him alive, and that's about it. And that way, give him good warlord traits. That's all I've seen him in most lists. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's all I've seen him. Where was that? Okay, there we go. Ollie Button says, hi Jay, long time listener, first time comment. Really enjoy your work on this channel, keep it going. My question is, I've picked up my Dark Angels recently after a 10-year hiatus from wargaming, originally fantasy. I was wondering if you could give me a few points for versatile 1,000 point, 1,500, 2,000 point lists. I currently use a lot of deep striking Deathwing, and I struggle with survivability. Yes, Deathwing are fun, but they're not the most competitive lists if your opponent has any answer to armor. So against Eldar, you're in trouble. Tau, you're in trouble. Other Space Marines, you're in trouble. Monster creatures, you can be in trouble. So I love playing Deathwing. They're my favorite group. But you may want to incorporate some Ravenwing. Now, the reason why I incorporate Ravenwing, you get them the Banner of Devastation, give them some weapons, a bunch of plasma guns. And the reason why I'd use them instantly is, first of all, they have Scout. They're fast, and they have Teleport Homers. So if you're playing Maelstrom of War, they're the ones that can turbo boost around the table, getting all the objectives you need to win you the game. Plus, they have Teleport Homers. So if you want to deep strike turn 2, you basically turn 1 scout and move up all your bikes, and then you deep strike near them, landing exactly where you want with your Deathwing. Plus, the bikers will provide a temporary distraction. So if you want to play more competitive, I would recommend bringing Ravenwing. And then if you're doing that route, rather than Belial, who you're probably running, I would run Azrael. Because Azrael makes Ravenwing and Deathwing troops. That's if you want to run both. I play Deathwing. It's not the most competitive. If you want to be more competitive and versatile, definitely incorporate Ravenwing because they have Scout as their base rule, and they're still pretty solid. They're not as good as White Scars in a lot of ways, but they're still really solid bikers. Plus they can jink. Brent, more and more sad I didn't get to go to the LVO. I know, Brent. I would love to meet you. Hopefully next year. Would love to do a pickup game or something. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be going next year to the LVO. I'll see. I haven't yet set which conventions I'm going to next year. Probably Adepticon for sure. And unless Gen Con has something weird, because Gen Con right now is up in the air with what's going on with some of the state laws. I'm not going to go into that at all. But maybe Gen Con, we'll see. But I want to do a bunch of conventions next year. I love conventions. I'm going to become a convention addict. Yeah. Hi, Zen, and hi, Jay. Pablo here. Hey, Pablo. How's it going? For those of you who don't know, I met Pablo at LVO. I was wondering where is the best place to post my Q&J questions in order for you to read them. Here, in a Q&J. Simple as that. If you post your questions in the Q&J, I go through question by question every video, and I would definitely answer your question. Actual Q&J question. What is your favorite Lord of War out of every faction / codex? Mine is the Thunderhawk. Mine's probably the Stompa. I love it. I love the Stompa. Fluff-wise, the look of it, the orkiness about it, I love the Stompa. Yeah. For sure. Very good question, Pablo. And as I said, yeah, Stompa. I love it. Yeah. And Drago. He's a Lord of War technically too, but he's funny and he kills everything, but Stompa. And the next question is by Pablo as well. So I'm not going to answer that again because it's the same question. But thank you very much once again for your questions, Pablo. Johnny Torrance says, Jay, I think it's possibly beyond my ability to mix up paint for this effect. I'm going to start in an Alpha Legion 30k army, and this Forge World color, I can't figure out. Metallic blue, greenish, not sure. If you have any suggestions, I'm all ears. Alpha Legion 30k army. Let me see. First of all, some companies make blue metallics. That's an option. I believe Vallejo makes blue metallics. Am I wrong? I think Vallejo has one. I could be wrong. But Vallejo, I think, has a blue metallic. Another option, which I've been recommending to people, is you can actually get metallic medium. So what you essentially do is you mix the color you want. So in this case, it'd be a turquoise, or you can get a the turquoise colors like the blue and green from Games Workshop, the turquoise colors, and you can literally purchase a large bottle, usually at a hobby store, of metallic medium, which is basically a metallic pigment minus any color. And you can mix that with your paint. And I've actually used this before when I worked at Mini Wargaming to create your own custom metallic color and paint models accordingly. And you can make batches of it really quickly and easily using metallic medium and the color that you want. So I would personally use the color I'm seeing right now. If it's bluish green, I would go the turquoise colors, or you can even go blue, more on the blue side, I'd probably say. Come the color you like and then add metallic medium to it if you can't find a metallic blue that matches it. Though I'm pretty sure, as I said, either Vallejo or Reaper, I'm pretty sure make a metallic blue and then you maybe make a metallic green, combine them. The final option is take like ghost tints and go over a silver color. But I buy some metallic medium, add it into the color that you want, and you get the perfect metallic. Technically what I do is, when using metallic medium, is I would go a little bit darker, because I do find metallic medium lightens it slightly. It's almost like, it's not necessarily like adding the lightest silver, but it almost does that a little bit. So go a little bit darker than the final color you want, and then add the metallic medium into it. I hope that answers your question, Johnny Torrance. And as I said, you can purchase metallic medium, usually any hobby store like Michael's. Master Dwellin says, hey Jay, there are rumors about an upcoming Adeptus Mechanicus Codex. Yes, there are. It's coming out this week. The margins. What do you think about it? Fun or not? I think it's going to be fun. I love the models. The Centauri are amazingly looking. I love them. I love the guys that have the cool like jumper boots on them, like the moon legs things. You know, I think it's going to be cool. I'm going to do a Codex review. Definitely expect it one this Friday. Hope you're all well and happy painting. Happy painting to you, Master Droylin. House of Geek says, hey Jay, Matt here from Castle Donington. Thanks for your advice in your previous videos about starting your own channel on YouTube. Is it okay if I give your channel a shout out? Feel free, definitely. As it's channels and people like you who inspire me to start my own channel. Thanks, Jay, and keep up the great work. Thank you very much. I love the shout out House of Geek. I really appreciate that because I see myself as kind of a second generation YouTuber. There were several people that inspired me to make videos. Usually Mini Wargaming inspired me to make battle reports. And Les, Awesome Paint Job, inspired me to make painting tutorials. And it's been really cool because I'm now an associate of Les's and I used to work for Mini Wargaming. And it's just really cool to be able to meet them. And now I'm considered a second generation kind of guys because I'm not I haven't been around as long as, you know, Jawa Balls or Awesome Paint Job, Blue Table, Mini Wargaming. But I've been around a lot longer than most YouTubers these days in our niche. So it's kind of cool. They call me a second gen. And Mini Warzone, final question. It says, Adepticon vlogs were very entertaining to watch. Thank you for sharing. You're welcome. I didn't actually, I found out we were supposed to contact Adepticon to let them know that we were vlogging so that they could hype them as well on their Facebook channel. I never did it, but it's okay. I've had an amazing time at Adepticon and LVO and all the people I met. It was just amazing to meet. And I can't wait for Gen Con. As I said, the conventions I would love to go to, my priority are, I would love to get to England. England is the very next country I want to visit because it's the mecca of 40K. simple as that. I want to go. I want to go to Forge World. I want to go to Warhammer World and just have an amazing time meeting people. So that's my goal. And I'm going to Gen Con, of course, this year, and probably Adepticon next year. And we'll see. I'm going to plan it out and play it by ear. But as soon as I can quit my other job, I know this is not an advertising or anything, but as soon as I can quit my other job, I feel that my world will open up. Because, as I said, I can't get off Saturdays. It's like to book off Saturdays is an ordeal at my other job. And they got mad at me for booking off LVO and Adepticon. So, you know, I would love to be able to just take a Saturday off, hop on my motorcycle, drive down to Barrie to Scodcast's events, or you drive up to Lindsay to play people, and one day will happen. And so right now, you can support me through the Warp or Patreon, or just watch my videos, share them, love my videos, because you guys, no matter what you do, if you watch my videos, you engage in Q&J, you do that, you are supporting more than you can ever imagine. And I thank you all amazingly for this. All of my subscribers, which I recently get 21,000, all 21,000 of you, thank you so much for subscribing, for sharing, for commenting everything you do in my videos. And that concludes this week's Q&J. Stay tuned for next week's, it'll probably be in a week and a half, 2 weeks. I'm gonna try to do this more often, get back into it, and leave your comments in the comment section down below about everything. Expect a Codex review this week about Mech. I can't wait. Satari, it's going to be cool. Stay tuned for the next one. Until next time, this is Jay saying thank you for commenting. Leave your comments in the comment section down below. And happy queuing. And I will be Jay. Yes.